what's going on? Welcome to the Nobody's Happy podcast, the podcast that makes you feel like a woman. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba, I had a great weekend. I don't remember most of it. The day where we were supposed to have like a gathering, we did. It was just me, my parents, my girlfriend, my friends, Josh and George. I don't want to go do anything. I didn't even like going to places when it was open, when things were open. So we just kind of sat here, smoked a blunt, and just got fucked up. Pretty uneventful. Other than the fact that I basically just blacked out. Irish goodbye my parents in their own house. I actually think it's a sign of respect to Irish goodbye people. It's basically saying I'm too drunk, man. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I can't do it. I'll tell you, there's something really cool about like taking a bunch of gummies that are fucking people up, and you're just like, no, they work. It's just I'm good. They work. They're potent. I'm just more powerful than the gummies. I can take them. But that's only like from knowing, getting a gauge of that first one, and then people go like, can you take 2 more or 3 more? And taking edibles before kind of lets you know, like, all right, if it starts picking up after 15 minutes, we're in for a fucking ride. Right? But if it's like you barely start feeling anything around 30, 45 minutes, and you're like, all right, I could probably take another 2 or 3. Right? And I don't mean like white knuckling it. I just mean like it just puts you in things are all right. I did the Willful Ignorance podcast on Monday. That's it. I got trashed twice this weekend, or this past week, on my birthday and doing the podcast. I was supposed to do the podcast on Monday, right? I get home and there's some beers left, so I start drinking, right? And I'm just hanging out with my girlfriend, and we're just sitting in the porch talking, and we just sort of kind of like, we just forget about time, and just kind of just keep talking. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go do this thing. And then I get there to Josh's place, and I bring like a 6-pack. I don't know why. And I start smoking, and I start drinking more, and I'm like, I'm nice, dude. I'm like really nice. Where I start thinking like, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to do the podcast. But it actually turned out pretty fun. It was the first time where I've been like super lit, just like drinking and smoking, and actually had fun. Where usually it's like I can only do that. But I had fun on the podcast. Usually I'm the kind of person who's like, I don't want to do stand up or podcast or talk to people I don't know when I'm nice and loaded. But at that time I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'm already baked. I'm already tossed, if you will. So why not keep going? And it actually ended up being a really fun time. You ever do that? Have alcohol save the day, or like at least At least make it seem like it's way better than it was before. Because God knows I've never done that. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I shit my pants at a Comedy Central after party? That really did happen. My friend Sam Morrell, he's a comedian. You guys should check him out. He's super funny. He had a special that he did, the first special he ever did. It was on Comedy Central. It's called Positive Influence, I think. And since then he's put out a couple more on YouTube. But anyway, the point is, I met him on the road. You know, I was featuring for him, basically opening the show right before him. And we kind of hung out, exchanged numbers, and then I moved to New York, and he kind of took me around. The first night I got there, like I told him, "Hey man, this and that, blah blah blah." He goes, "Oh, come out, man." So I go to the cellar, and he brings me. He takes me in there. I see some people, meet some people. I got to meet Colin Quinn, right? Shook his hand, and he was like, "How you doing?" Like really nice, right? And in my head, I was like, "Oh my god!" But on the outside, I was like pretty like, "Hey man, what's going on?" You know, I'm a comedian too. But on the inside, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Colin Quinn!" And he just shook my hand and he smiled and he was really nice. Anyway, cut to a couple of months later. He's filming his special that was like produced by Amy Schumer and Comedy Central, and so he's getting like he's getting an after party at this bar, I guess. But here's the thing, though, I didn't ask him, "Hey man, where's the party's at?" Where's the party's at? Where's the party at? I didn't ask him anything like that. I went to this place called the Creek and the Cave, right? Went to do like a little set. It went all right. Some new stuff, so it's like whatever you can get off of new material always feels good, as long as it's not a negative reaction. And I remember the day before I drank like a lot. I drank a lot. So this night I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have like a beer and a shot twice. So 2 beers, 2 shots. And I was kind of feeling it out from last night. I was like, all right, this is about good. And then I started kind of feeling a little bit better. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get another beer, another shot, right? Another PBR tall boy with another, like, super whale whiskey. So now I'm 3 deep, right? 3 rounds in. And then I think, you know what? I'm going to get that 4th one, and then I'm out of here. So I get that 4th one, that 4th round, that 4th beer in the shot. And I'm drinking it, right? I slam the shot, and I start drinking. And maybe I'm like, I don't know, like a quarter or a third, probably like a third into the beer. And I get a text from Sam that says, "Hey man, we're having the after party. I just finished taping, blah, blah, blah. We're having the after party at this bar, man. If you want to come through," and part of me didn't want to, not, only because I already knew that, oh man, I drank the night before. I feel like I've already drank a little too much. A little more than I said, but I was like, dude, it's Sam Morrell. It's fucking it's Comedy Central after party, and there's probably gonna be other comedians there. So I'm like, of course, dude. I'm right there. I'm I'm heading over right now, and I like try to pound the beer. I probably leave like a quarter of it, and I'm just like, all right, fuck it. There's gonna be more beer over there, I'm sure. So I get on the subway, and I'm kind of like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like a little tipsy. I was like, damn, I didn't bring my weed, right? So I'm like, I'll just go down there. It's like a 45. I'm in Queens, right? That's when the creek in the cave is at, and the after party, the bar is is in Brooklyn by the Barclays Center. But there's a train that I can catch right there. 45 minutes, like 55 minutes, I can be there. So I take the train. It's almost an hour long. More like 45, 55 minutes. And I get there, and I'm feeling like 45 minutes. You've been pounding them, and then you go almost an hour without drinking. You start feeling a little like, oh, I'm sobering up, right? But you still got all that alcohol in the bank. Just because you're not buzzed out, you still got all that in the bank. I get to the bar, and it's crowded, super crowded. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm not getting in here. So I texted him. I was like, hey, man, I'm here. Dude comes out, like slices through the people. He's like, come on, man. And I get in there. I'm like, hell yeah. And I get in there. And he's like, dude, like this and that. He's like introducing me to like other comedians. And then at some point he's like, all right, I got to say hi to so-and-so, man. But like, just, dude, it's open bar. Right, and as soon as he said open bar, I was like, right. 'Cause eventually, I realized that I can't be trusted with an open bar. It's just that dog ain't gonna hunt. And I go to the bar, and I was like, I don't know how to. I'm all foreign, dude, all fucking Indio, and I'm like, can I get a beer, right? Because I don't know what kind of shit they're serving. And then the lady or dude or whatever, it's like, what kind do you want? And I was like, what do you got, right? And I get my beer, and then I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is a Comedy Central after party, and I start seeing some comedians that I recognize. I was like, hey, there's that guy, right? Fucking Mark Normand over there. Was Mark Normand there? I could have sworn I saw him there. And who else? I saw Joe Mackey, Jesse Hensley. I probably saw the lady that runs the cellar, the Comedy Cellar. But at the time, I probably didn't even know it was her. I saw this other comic that I had met, who was also friends with Sam. I saw Rachel Feinstein. I don't know if you guys know who that is. That's this comedian. This comedian. I think I've never seen her do stand up, but I've seen her like on TV, like Rachel Feinstein's comedy half hour or comedy special, And then I see her. I was like, oh my god, it's that lady, that girl or woman. Comedian, and he introduces me to her. He's like, hey, this is Rachel, and she's like, hey, and gives me a hug, and is like super nice. And then all of us, dude, she's fucking wasted. And then she steps back and goes, what's your name? After like greeting me like we're long lost friends and shit. It was kind of adorable. So we say hi, and then I just kind of start walking around, just kind of like. And then I realized I finished my beer. I go back to the bar, and I'm like, can I get a shot of whiskey and a beer? And the guy goes, we just so you know, the liquor is not on the open bar. It's just beer for the open bar. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, at this point I'm starting to catch my buzz again. So I'm like, you know what? Serve me that shot of whiskey. I'll pay for that myself. Because I'm balling like that, right? Yeah, I pay for whiskey at an open bar. I don't give a shit. I was feeling myself, and then I keep doing the rounds, right? Just kind of walking around like a fucking dork, going outside, smoking cigarettes. I talked to his manager or agent. I forgot what she was, but she was pretty cool. She was like, "Hey, who are you? This and that. Oh, Sam Morrill's has talked about you before. You know, you should keep doing what you're doing. You know, kind of." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." God damn it! And then I went to the to the bar. No, to the bathroom. Right where I had gone to many times already, and it's there's two of them, and they're all one seaters. Like it's universal, right? So I get there. I go into I get there. I go into the bathroom, and I start peeing and peeing, you know, and as one does, and then all of a sudden, I just feel it. Just. I was peeing. It didn't. I sharted. And I realized that I make the when I shit my pants, I make the face of a kicker that just missed the game-winning field goal. You know what I mean? It's like disappointment and disgust. Like when you see them kick it, like they kick it, right? And then they look, and then they're like that's how I felt. As soon as it happened, it was like, and I was like, I let the team down, man. It was all on me, and I fucked it up. I shanked it far right, and I could not recover from it. It really hurt me, and I just sat there, and I was like, why? Why is this happening right now? I'm at a Comedy Central after party, man. I should be mingling with people, with fucking, I don't know, somebody, with Harvey Weinstein. Oh wait, no, that had already come out, right? I should have been offering my body for Hollywood opportunities. I should have been taking advantage of it, but at last it was not meant to be. I did the best I could to clean myself, and then I walked out, and I Irish goodbyed Comedy Central at Sam Morril, and all the other comedians who none of them had any idea that I was even there to begin with. Sam was the only one that knew I was there, and I Irish goodbyed him because I was like, I can't shake your hand like this. All right. Well, here's a message from our sponsor. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Raul Sanchez from Nobody's Happy here, and I just wanted to ask you guys to check out Your Dad's Fupa. Your Dad's Fupa is stylish and comfortable. Feel good wherever you go. Your Dad's Fupa makes you feel like you're in charge of the entire place. Your Dad's Fupa is made from the best materials known to man. Okay? Check out Your Dad's Fupa, because Your Dad's Fupa is what you need. So, yeah, apart from shitting myself, I think I've done a pretty good job with my life. I'm trying to improve on myself. I've been doing knees over toes guy. Have you guys heard about knees over toes guy? Taking the goddamn internet by storm. talking about how to improve your knees. Basically, it's just like everything else. You're not supposed to avoid conflict and avoid pain. You're supposed to meet it head on and get stronger so you can handle it, because it's never going to stop. Where the fuck did that come from? Yeah, check out. You should check out this dude, knees over toes guy. If you ever like, not the kind of shit that you need fucking surgery for, but if you have like the kind of knee problems where like, where it's not, you just don't quite know what it is. You just like, it just hurts when I fucking run. Check out, this dude has like different types of exercise, and they're for free, right? He's got one of those like programs, you know, that you can pay for. But I think that's because he basically like coaches you through that shit and gives you like a regimen. But you can go on YouTube and look up a bunch of the stuff he does, dude. I've been doing it because a lot of you don't know, but if you've been listening to this for a little longer, you'll know that I have a baby leg. One of my legs, the quad is slightly smaller than the other one. That's because in the Army I fractured my kneecap, right? And I hobbled on it for like a month, or like almost like a month and a half, and then they were like, "That's not getting better, is it?" And then I got X-rays. Sure enough, the fucking doctor's like, wait, how long have you been walking like this?" And he's like, "You have a fractured patella." I was like, "Oh." It's like kneecap. Your kneecap is fractured. I was like, "Oh, well, that's not good." They gave me a brace, and I basically just hobbled up. But after it was done, when I was able to take off the whole thing and actually able to exercise with everybody else, I never took the time to like. Well, first of all, to ask them like, "Hey, should I be getting some kind of physical therapy?" But I didn't do it myself either. I didn't, try to strengthen my left leg. I just basically left it, which kind of left me with one right leg that was always compensating for the other one, which was why it was noticeably bigger than the other one. I still have small legs, but one was even smaller than the other one. And what the fuck was I getting at with that? Oh yeah, knees over toes guy. Yeah, so this knee, like if I start doing too many calisthenics, it'll start hurting. But what I've been doing is just looking up on YouTube different reasons why your knee hurts and how to rehabilitate it. And I found that dude, and dude, some of that shit fucking worked. Like I feel my knees a little bit stronger. It doesn't feel as shaky. I can lunge forward. Like I would lunge forward with my right, like that, and it was just kind of like slow and steady. But then if I would do it with my left, the whole body would be shaking on the way down, man, because it was so fucking weak. But ever since I started doing those little exercises, it's actually made it more stable, and it looks like a little bit bigger. So it looks almost the same size now. Where's my fucking water, dog? Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna be in the UFC any fucking time soon, but you know how it is. Speaking of which, I saw the UFC this past Saturday. Man, there was some good fucking fights on that. There's this kid, Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez. This kid is gonna be a fucking star, dude. I mean, I'm like an Adrian Yanez dick rider, and he's only had like fucking 3 fights in the UFC, and I'm already like, this is the dude right here. Just some slick, beautiful fucking boxing, man. Some pretty hands, man. He's got some beautiful fucking hands. The way he lets them go, you can't even see him. You just hear the suck. That leather on face contact sound. It sounded so fucking good, man. I was so impressed. It's one of those things like did I ever tell you guys about the time I boxed in the Army? Oh, dude, it was so fucking stupid. I can't even say that I've boxed before, I basically I role played boxer. I what do the kids call it? LARPing. Yeah, it was basically live action role playing um, boxing, and it was uh it was pretty fun, man. I mean, it was in the army, so like we used to do this thing in the 82nd, right? 82nd division called the division games. So uh, every time summer came around, the entire division would make teams, like battalion teams. Every battalion would have like a soccer team, a volleyball team, a boxing team, a flag football team, right? And I remember, I think the first year that I was there, I was such a scared little bitch. I chose soccer. Nothing against soccer. I know that came off wrong. But I was a scared little bitch, so I chose soccer, like a bitch would. No, I chose soccer because I was like, well, I'm not. I've never been athletic my entire life. The only athletic thing about me is that I had pretty good endurance for somebody that wasn't an athlete, So I figured, well, soccer's the only thing I can do, because I can run back and forth all goddamn day. But all those dudes were just so good, man. Like I didn't realize how many Americans liked soccer until I was there. And they were like, yeah, I was in high school. I was like Division 1 fucking forward, mid back guy, and they'd be like, holy shit, man, I'm way outclassed here, dude. I couldn't. I've never played. I was on the bench the whole time. I never played because there was no need for me. There was no need to have somebody that was small, slow, and was a little iffy on some of the fucking rules. It's a different thing when you're out there, when you're out there playing in real life. It's a little harder to see the field and what exactly is happening, because you're so used to seeing it from an audience point of view, that back and forth. When you're down there, you're like, man, I wish there was a cam that would show me which way everybody's moving. All I see is I look at guys, I can't tell if they're 30 meters away or 60. Yeah, and we had a coach. We had a coach that was from like England. Yes, I mean, I was in the army. I wasn't born in the U.S., so of course there's gonna be dudes like that from other countries. This dude was a sergeant major though. He was a short, stocky guy. All right. No, he wasn't Irish. He had a weird. Now I was about to do an accent, but now that I think about it, I can't remember exactly. It sounded like. It sounded like the way, like somebody taught a cat how to speak English. That's the way it would sound. No, I mean it was something like that. But the dude was amazing, and he was a good coach. You could tell because he was dividing people up into their abilities, as far as like, you would make a good striker. You got to be on defense. You would be like middle. Yeah, and then after that, the next year, I was like, dude, I'm not doing fucking soccer sitting on the bench. I mean, I was like, I understand I'm kind of a pussy, but like, this is ridiculous. Fucking sitting on the bench in the one of the softest sports that we're doing. So I was like, I know where they can't put me on the bench. Boxing, because that in boxing I have to fight somebody. You don't. It's not a team thing. They're not gonna be like, Raul's not doing so good in the first round. Let's put somebody else in. It's just an individual sport. I guess maybe that's why I took so much better to stand up than like sketch comedy and all that stuff, because it's like, it's just you can work as a team as far as like preparing, but once it comes down to it, friend or foe, you're on your own. So that second that second summer that I was there, I joined the boxing team, and it was dude, our exercise was like I feel like more rigorous than our regular army exercise. I was like, and I thought about it. I was like, why don't we train like this all the time? I mean, I don't want to because it fucking sucks. But there's something about knowing that you're gonna fight a dude that makes you want to do more sit-ups. That makes you want to run further, throw more shots while you're running. I forgot how to say punches. Yeah, it just the fact that you know what it's like to be in a fight. It makes you want to prepare because that now it's inevitable. You're training boxing. You're on the boxing team, and eventually they're gonna put you up against a dude that you've never seen before. And we used to just throw on some. That's when I realized that I couldn't jump rope. And this Puerto Rican friend of mine, Sergeant Ramos, he joined the boxing team too. And he wanted. He was like, he was like, Sanchez, I go, vamos a brincar cuerda, and he telling me like we're gonna jump rope, and I was like, all right. He goes, and then he started just jumping, and he started jumping like a boxer, you know, and all. He tells me, all right, now you jump, and I didn't even get to jump over it twice. I jumped over it once, but I jumped over it like a girl, like no offense. I'm meaning like 1 foot first, and then I jumped the other one, like tack, you know. As soon as I did that, look, I'm not gonna say that Puerto Ricans are homophobic, but immediately he went no. He did it to me like I was his son, and I had just looked at a doll like, this looks fun. he almost snatched the rope out of my hand. He's like, no, don't do it like that. You do it like this, right? Just hop, right? Or you kick 1 foot out and then you kick the other one out, but you don't tat. You don't tat. You know, which is what I was doing. Boy, he set me straight. But then after that, the exercise, it was kind of weird because I felt like I don't feel like I'm not strong enough, you know, like I'm not coordinated enough. But then once we started getting in the ring and started, you know, you start feeling that I don't know, like if you press on your nose like this enough, there's I don't know how to describe it. There's a feeling when you get hit right in the face that it just its anger goes through your nose. I don't know how to explain it. The anger goes through your nose, and then it spreads to your brain and to the rest of your body, and you get fucking angry, dude. You're like, oh yeah, is that what it's gonna be like, motherfucker? And then you just start throwing blood. I dropped this dude one time, and I couldn't stop laughing because that's how foreign it was for me to be fighting this regularly, you know, to be throwing blows with somebody this regularly. I don't know how, but he was hopping, and I think he hopped, and I caught him in midair, and I kept sending him the same direction he hopped in, like back, and he just katung. He felt it was more like he fell wrong, like he stepped wrong, he moved wrong, and I just caught him off balance. But it sounded like when he hit the floor, it sounded like somebody fucking shot him with a rifle, you know, like it just sounded katung, and everybody turned around. They were like, whoa, and everybody just looked at me like, are you a monster, bro? And I was like, I had no fucking idea what I had just done. I was just like, how the fuck did I drop him? I didn't even, I mean, I hit him. I tried to knock his head off, but I don't hit that fucking hard. And then after that, they started coaching us, and then they started. He was a little bit shorter, right? But he was more muscular, so we were kind of like the same weight. Um, and then they started coaching us, and then they taught this motherfucker how to like body head, right? You start doing body head, and he started just going doom doom doom, and every time I would be like, ow, motherfucker, and he's just he would come over the top, and I'd be like, you motherfucker, right? And yeah, and then we got ready like that, fighting amongst each other. And then we all divided ourselves into like, all right, you're gonna fight at 120 something, you're gonna fight at 130, And yeah, I went in there dehydrated as fuck, dude. And the first fight that I took, or that I fought, I was so nervous, and I walk in to the ring. There's like 3 rings in this gym, and they're having different fights at the same time. And I go to the back one because that's where they're taking me. And I'm just standing there on the corner, and then all of a sudden the other guy's walking, and I see him, and I'm like, that's not the guy I'm fighting, is it? he looks pretty fucking tall. And I was like, there's no way, because I'm like 5'8", 5'7" and a half probably, but listed at 5'8", and this dude looked like he was like 5'11". I was like, what the fuck, dude? I'm not fighting. And I kept telling the corner guy. Now I feel like a real punk for doing this, but I was like, hey man, can you ask them if I think we're on this different weight classes. There's no way. I think there's been a mistake. Yeah, that's how much of a pussy I was. I was like, I think there might have been a mistake, and I think that that this guy thinks he's fighting somebody that's way bigger, or they think that he's way smaller. The whole point is I couldn't fucking believe it. Because he was so fucking tall. But then I didn't realize was that he was way younger than me. Not way younger than me. I was like, what, 20? And he was probably 18. And yeah, he was just had no fat on him. That's why. The reason why he looked so goddamn tall was he was young and he had no fat on him whatsoever. But he was still, he was not filled in, and neither was I, but I was I don't know, dude. I always felt like I was a mess in my body, like I was super skinny, but I had no definition whatsoever. But I just, I was mean. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it, man. They're going to make us fight. I don't give a shit, You got to fight sometime. And they ring the bell, and we start fighting, and then, next thing you know, I throw like a 1-2, and he kind of like tries to paw at the 1, and then the 2 comes over, and bang, and I just saw his face go whack, and I was like, ooh, and it was like that Richard Pryor bit about boxing, where like at first you're like ping, and then ping, and he's like, and then it starts getting good to you, right? And you start like shuffling, like you're the shit. You're like, ooh, ping, 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 right? And it was exactly like that, dude. I bloodied this dude's nose. Like this dude's nose was like all just coming down like that, and I was like, holy shit, man, I won that fucking, and I won. I was so amped up, dude. I was all like, I was all ready to, well, I didn't drink back then, so there's no way for me to celebrate or party. But I called my dad and told him about it. I do remember that. Went to eat breakfast, and instead of hydrating, you know what I did? I just drank like 2 cups of coffee, because I remember being super tired in the middle of that first fight. But it was because I couldn't. I just couldn't get the energy because I was so dehydrated. First of all, I prepared for a way further weight class than I was supposed to. Like on the fight day, the first fight, they were like, "No, you're not 129. He's 129." or something like that. And I was like, what? I was all emaciated, like, I went all the way down to 129. And they're like, no, dude, you're like 130 something, like 132, 130. So now I go from like barely making weight to like, now I'm like severely smaller than everybody else. And yeah, the second fight did not go as well. That was the second fight was the first time I ever felt somebody like buckle my knees from a punch. Like he caught me like clean, like he just sweeping left. It just caught me right across the face, boom. And I just like I was looking at him, and the next thing you know, I'm staring at his dick because I'm like almost at a full squat, and I'm like, oh shit, like what am I doing down here? And I just picked myself back up, and I'm just trying to get out of the way. And this kid was like I don't know. He was just really aggressive to the point where like he was coming in with his head, and then he was just like boom. I was like, oh. I look at the ref. I'm like, oh, dude. And he's like, don't look at me, motherfucker. The dude is just like boom, boom. He's swinging his arms and his fucking head, right? So I'm like trying to block three things at once, and but then he got tired, right? And I was tired too, but I was like, you're going to have to kill me, motherfucker, right? And did 3 rounds. And then the third one ended with him. He was just on the ropes because he was too tired to throw back. But he just turtled up. And his arms were so long, his elbow was like blocking his balls. And his arms were blocking his face. So he just had like these 2 fucking just giant sticks. Like that, and I just couldn't. I had him up against the rope for like the past 15 20 seconds, and I was just going to town, but none of those shots were getting through. I was trying to like make him look bad, but at the end of the fight it was a split decision, and I lost because they felt like I mean, you had him against the ropes, but that motherfucker like straight up made you see stars. And I think I think they were right. The guy that gave it to me, I mean, hey, thanks, man, but I can't be mad that they thought that way. Because to be honest, I don't know. Maybe I would have probably thought the same thing. It's like, yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, he was tired, but I wasn't making any significant damage. And hey, it's just he caught me with a pretty one, man, and he made me look stupid. But yeah, that was my boxing experience. All right, I need to stop this and get it out today because it's Thursday. I've been slacking. No, I've trying to write stand up. I just did a show on a couple of was it last Friday? Yeah, in Austin, or Thursday in Austin. I had a fun time. It was that Don't Tell show that they do in Austin. Thanks, Hunter. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to get out to Austin a little more often, just to get in front of like decent quality crowds. Cause I don't know, man. Things are gonna start opening up, so I hope people start coming out to Blind Tiger too. I'll definitely try to do a set this weekend. But hey guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are cool. I love you. Take it easy. Bye.